Okay, welcome to this mini rendering masterclass. I just wanted to show you the sort of thing that we'll be doing in the main course. And what we've done is we've taken the SketchUp model that we created in masterclass 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is the New York loft apartment. And we've just spent some time going around and adding some textures, some generic materials, some downloaded textures, some lights and some atmosphere to our New York scene. So if I just close this down, show you the sort of thing we've done. You can see that we have put some dressing in here. We've got some foliage on the walls. We've got like a green wall here. We've got some lights and we've got some sphere lights, some there's a spotlight in here, and we've put some buildings outside. And what this all does is just help us create the scene that we want. So I've set up this particular scene here, and if I just I open the asset editor just to give you an idea of the sorts of things we've done. So for example, this cabinet here, if I sample this, it's going to give me this color here, and all I've done is put a reflective layer on this, and what that's going to do is just help to reflect some of the light that's bouncing around in here, and also some of these items, particularly the rug. Speaking of the rug, we've put some fur on the rug to give it a bit of a 70s vibe, and yeah, we've just set up the scene. And if you go into the main tutorial, you'll see how we do this. You can follow along, and we'll get to this stage where we are able to put together a relatively quick visual that can be used either for a client brief, or if you're just trying to get ideas for yourself when you're putting things together. This is a great way to sort of use renders in that way. And also, like I said previously, I've set up this course so you can do it with a 30-day free trial of V-Ray, so that you don't have to worry too much about having a copy of V-Ray already. You'll be able to do this with the free trial, and certainly if you've done the previous 4 episodes, you'll see that this will be a really good like cherry on the cake for your portfolio. So you'll have done like 12 drawings with me over the last 4 episodes, and then we can do like 3 or 4 renders here, which will just give you a really good portfolio showing your modeling, showing your drawing, and showing your rendering technique, which you'll be a shoo-in for jobs at that point. So I just want to do a little test render just to show you what we're working with. And you'll see even from this test render that we're getting nice reflections on the reflected materials that we've put on this leather. We're getting a little bit of bouncing light off of the cabinet there, which is just reflecting the colour of the rug. You can see the shag pile rug in there that we've created. All this foliage in the foreground is creating a bit of interest and just helping to frame the shot. And we've also got some atmosphere outside. I'm going to show you how to do all of this in the course. We've got some LED lights under our cabinets over the back here, and all in all, it's a nice, interesting little scene that we've put together. Now, when I started with V-Ray a few years ago, this would be the point where I'd get to, and I'd put a render out, and I'd kind of think, oh well, that's, I could never get them to look exactly like they do in those sort of like high-end architectural magazines or books or whatever you see, and I could never quite get my head around why it was never quite there. I mean, this is good. These are nice renders, but they're still lacking a little something. And it was only in the last sort of year or so that I've sort of picked up on why that is, and that's all to do with post-production and this thing over here, which is your render element stack, and that's going to give you several passes that you can, along with the base render, you can render out all these other layers, which when stacked up in Photoshop can really help to turn that drawing into something really special. So the main ones we use are ambient occlusion, diffuse, raw light, raw reflections, raw shadows. Then we have another reflection layer, a refraction filter which picks up all of the reflections and light through the glass, and specular, which is picking up the reflections in the materials. And then we have control of that in Photoshop, and I'll run through all of that in the main course. And then also the other thing that I always used to slip up on was actually in my render output settings. So as you can see, let me just turn that off a second. We always keep our quality on high or high plus. We keep our image width and height around 2500 to 3000. That will always be something that determine the quality of your render output. So depending on how pixely it is or how clear you want it to be. We go through all of these settings one by one. I should mention as well, we save a file path. Because we're doing a render stack, we should save a file path to we can choose a space on the desktop to send them all to. If you do forget to do that, they do all get saved in here, and you can save them out individually if you want to, which is what I'll be doing in the next episode, or in the next part of this tutorial. And I think over the course of the 9 hours of the course, you will be able to really get some fantastic renders, not only from the New York model, but from any model that you choose. I'm sure you've all got models in your own arsenal that you like, and you can apply everything I'm showing you here into your own workflow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to render this out on here, and then come back in a second. We'll go through some post-production technique in Photoshop. Okay, so once that's rendered and saved out, if you forget to set a file path for everywhere to save, you'll see all of your passes are here. You can just go on each one and save them manually, which is what I've just done. And we're just going to open them all up in Photoshop. So I'm going to go File, Scripts, Load into Stack, Browse, and take all of those. And in the main tutorial, I'll be showing you a much more in-depth version of this, but this is just sort of for a quick taster of the course. So here you have all of your renders as they are, and that's our base render. And it's just a case of going through and just checking. So I'm just looking at effects results. There's not much in it, so I'm going to say we don't need that one. Delete that layer. And we're just going to go through each one, turning them on. So specular, this will be reflections, light reflections in the reflective materials, and I'm going to set that to probably screen and give that an opacity. Just take that down ever so slightly, 75%. You just see that just lifts everything, and all these nice highlights on the leaves. Our reflection filter. This is for reflections in the window. I'm probably going to put that down to it's just about finding the right one. Probably screen is probably, is it screen? I'm going to go with the linear one, because I think we can affect those a lot better. Just just bringing everything to life. And you'll see, if I turn that off, all those reflections disappear. Turn it on, getting all the reflections in the glass, getting more reflections in these reflective materials, and it's all looking rather nice. Let's turn on our raw light. Probably take that up to try on hard light and just see what we can get with that effect. We're just looking for like subtle changes that are just going to lift the scene. It's just giving me more highlights on the arms of the chair there. Take that down a little bit more. 8%, 10%. Yep. Diffuse, put that down to screen. I'm going to take this right down as well. That's just lifting some of the dark areas. Just take that down a little bit more. And the denoiser, we want to put a bit of noise. Well, we've got noise in here already. I'm not sure if the denoiser is going to see what happens if we reduce that right down. And then finally the ocular occlusion. We'll put this on multiply, and that's just going to give us some nice shadows in all our corners and around the edges where things hit the floor or the walls connect. Like I say, we go through this in a lot more detail and a lot more depth in the actual course, which I'm really excited about releasing. I can't believe it's been 5 years since we released the first, well, it'll be 5 years in March since we released the first masterclass, so it's kind of like a 5-year full circle moment, and this will be the final one in the masterclass series, even though this is it will be a standalone course that you can do on its own. You don't have to have done the masterclasses, but obviously if you've already done the loft tutorials, then this is obviously the next step to complete. I'm just going to press Command Option E, and that will give us a stack there that is compressed. I'm going to put that into a folder. I can turn off that group, which we'll call stack, and press Command J to duplicate that, and then we're going to look at some of the raw camera filters, and we can do an auto. It kind of gives you an automatic thing, and I think it's a little bit overexposed, so I'm just going to take that down, take the contrast up ever so slightly. It's all about just playing with these sliders to get the effect you're after. And temperature, I'll just take that down ever so slightly. Tint, lean it in towards the green a bit more. Vibrance and saturation are similar. So just literally all about tiny tweaks and just getting that to work. That's the wrong one. Texture, just want to add in a little bit of texture. It's just going to give us a little bit of noise to play with. Clarity. Put a bit of a vignette on the corners there, and a little bit of noise, maybe 3 points of noise. Color mixer. Take the reds down a bit, oranges up a little bit, greens, I just want to make them pop pop a little bit more. So you can see over here the green working, the blue of that sofa and the sky. That's all good. Okay with that. You can play with the vignette a little bit more as well, just to add a little bit of something extra. So we're going to OK that. And I'm going to go Command J, copy it again. And this time we're going to do some filters, and these are great because, you know, these are probably a little bit strong, but you can always play with the opacity, take them right down. So I'm liking that one there, and I'm going to keep it on normal, but I'm just going to knock it back, say 50% maybe. There we go. And then we're going to add another layer and just finish this off with a little border. And why don't we say interior, New York apartment, day view 2, and let's take that down to 30, 36, excellent. Let me just finish this off. Just going to zoom in a bit here. Go back to our border layer and just grab the brush again. And these are all great things for your portfolio. So like I said, if you've done the previous tutorials, great. If you haven't, you can just jump straight in on this rendering tutorial. And just while we're here, just show you, if I go into that stack and take our original, I'm just going to duplicate that. I'm going to stick that on the top of there, close the stack down. So you'll be able to see the difference. So this is our raw render that came out of V-Ray, and with all the little post-production tricks that, like I said, we'll go into in more detail, you can get something that's a lot more realistic and certainly stylized. So yeah, so we're launching on the 4th of November. The course is it's under 10 hours, it's 9 episodes. We're going to do day scenes, night scenes. I'm going to show you some non-photorealistic stuff as well. We're going to cover all of the lighting techniques, HDRI maps, downloading textures from other third-party programs. We're going to look at using spotlights, rectangle lights, dome lights, how to texture, how to make generic textures from scratch, how to use the Cosmos to download render-ready materials and assets like people and furniture and things like that, how to manipulate everything as you go, the best way to set up your scenes. It's a really intensive course, and I really hope you're going to join me for that. The tutorial launches on Tuesday, and the cart opens at 9 o'clock in the morning. It will be open for a week, and then I'm closing the cart, and the course won't be available until later in the year. And when I do re-release it later in the year, it will be double the price. So you're getting in at the early bird stage from Tuesday onwards. You'll be able to get it with the 50% discount already applied. And it's specifically for you guys, just for my mailing list at the moment. Just want to get you all involved. So hope you like this little mini tutorial. Hope it's given you a little taste of what we're going to be getting into. And yeah, see you in the course.